Hello!
Ahoy!
Welcome to the Bottom of the Stream Movie Show. My name is Adam.
My name's Nick. Welcome.
Welcome. How are you, Nick?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah. We've had a bit of a change of plan.
Yeah.
We did mention if you've listened to The Wave on
we-
Monday, but we'll mention it again here, I think.
If you've not listened to The Wave, you'll notice that the title of this episode is not the title of the film that was revealed from the randomizer last week. Unfortunately, we found out after we published last week's episode that it's kind of a funny story. It's not on Netflix anymore and hasn't been since the beginning of July.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's happened there.
Because we're usually quite good. We do check, and we are usually quite good. We must have just missed it last week somehow. I don't know how. So apologies for that. So apologies if you've gone out and found it somewhere else, because we're not going to talk about it, because we didn't. We respan the randomizer earlier in the week. Is it respan or respun?
Respun.
We respun the randomizer earlier this week, and it picked a new film for us, which is still on Netflix, which is helpful, and is a Netflix original. It's called Deirdra and Laney Rob.
Indeed.
It's from 2017. It's rated at a 12. It runs for 1 hour and 32 minutes. And it's currently rated at 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb, and as I said, is a Netflix original. Stars a lady called Ashleigh Murray. She plays Deirdra. She's been in 39 episodes of Riverdale.
Sure.
Have you seen Riverdale?
No, my wife's watched it.
So she'll know who she is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
do not.
I did not recognise that. It's been one of those things that's been on in the background.
Yeah.
I could recognise a couple of people from it, but not this young lady.
Straight, same. Also stars a lady called Rachel Crowe, who plays a character called Laney. You would know her. She did a couple of cameo episodes in The Goldbergs.
Yes.
And then she was in The Schooled, which was the Goldbergs spin-off
spin-off
from the 90s. She's also a former X Factor America contestant.
Oh, okay.
She was a singer. She did quite well in X Factor USA, apparently. Their mother is played by Danielle Nicolette. I don't know what I'm going with. Nicolette, probably. She plays Marigold, who is their mother. She has been in quite a few things. She was in the Flash TV show. She played Cecile. She's in Central Intelligence with The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And she does a lot of video game voices.
Oh, interesting.
She plays Captain Marvel in a lot of the Lego Marvel games.
Sweet.
And she's also used to be in Third Rock from the Sun.
Wow.
Back in the
way
90s.
Back.
Way
She must
back.
have been young in that.
Yeah, she
Must
played
have been a
Karen
kid.
in Third Rock from the Sun. Written and directed by a lady called Sydney Freeland, who we mentioned on this week's Wave. She's got another Netflix original on the way.
Resball
with LeBron James.
He's producing, I think.
He's not in it.
Yeah.
Written by another lady called Shelby Farrell, who I didn't really find a lot out about.
No problem.
It's billed as a Netflix original. It wasn't made by Netflix. It was purchased by Netflix.
Okay.
You know when you go on IMDb and it talks to you about if you watch this film, you might like these films.
Oh, yes.
It recommended me 2 films that we've done in the past.
Oh, really?
Yes. It recommended me Burning Sands and First Match.
Okay.
Both films are very not like each other, and neither film is anything like this one.
No, they're tonally completely different.
The only similarity is they've all got black casts. So I don't know if
I'm not
IMDb's
sure
being
how
a
I
bit...
feel about that. If that's
Yeah.
the algorithm.
I don't know if that is the algorithm. If you like these black people, you might like these other black people.
Feels uneasy,
It
doesn't
does,
it?
doesn't it? It's not because Burning Sands is one of the darkest films we've done. It's gritty and horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And First Match is pretty dark as well. Whereas
Yeah, it's got it has some comedic moments to it, but
they're both gritty dramas.
Yeah, they're both sort of powerful subjects, aren't they?
Whereas this is light-hearted, funny,
It's quite sweet.
quite sweet in places,
Yeah.
questionable
Yeah.
moments in it, but I'm not sure about why
No,
it's
I'm not-
recommended
I
me that.
don't think I'm liking that
Yeah,
that algorithm.
it's a bit odd, that one. So, do you have a one-word review of Deirdra? I'm going to say Deirdra all the way through. Deirdra and Laney Rob.
Can you imagine? This isn't going to mean anything to anyone outside the UK, probably. If there was a film called Deirdre Barlow Robs a Train.
I knew you were going to say that, and I still took a drink. Well, she'd get to prison for a while.
That's true.
There was loads of free Deirdre t-shirts around, wasn't there?
She is someone who was in Coronation Street, which has been on for about 75 years over here.
Rest in peace.
Is she dead?
Yeah.
The actress?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she died a while back.
I knew that.
Yeah.
Again, not really in my wheelhouse.
No, not at all.
So what was the question?
You've taken me completely off kilter. Do you have a one-word review of Deirdra and Laney Rob?
Training Day.
Training Day. That's also got black cast.
Yeah. That's a great movie.
That is a great movie. Really underrated as well. Where does this film start, Nick?
Trains.
Trains. It does. It's all about trains, this film, surprisingly.
Yeah, there's lots of trains.
Yeah.
We're at a station yard.
Yes.
Trains going slowly and like being shunted around.
Yeah,
and
so this town's been built around this train yard, hasn't
we're
it?
talking about not passenger trains. We're talking about sort of cargo.
long-ass
stuff.
cargo trains,
Yeah.
slow freight trains.
A lot of shipping containers
Yeah.
and sort of.
And it feels like this little town's been built around these train tracks.
Yeah, absolutely.
To just be a stop on the way, I guess.
I don't think the town's ever named. It's kind of no name USA, isn't
It's
it?
somewhere in Idaho.
Yeah.
Because that comes up later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think we ever get a name for the town. But it's just a little rundown. There's nothing there. A little rundown town. All the houses are all smashed up and old, and that's where these people live. Our main characters in this film. We meet Deirdra to start with.
Sure.
She seems to have a lot on. She's quite stressed out.
She's a smart cookie.
She seems to be quite smart. She's selling test answers to tests over the phone to some of her schoolmates.
Yeah.
Trying to make some cash.
She is tutoring, but she's also doing tests for people.
Yeah, she's trying to make some cash.
She is.
She seems quite stressed out. She's got a lot going on. There's a lot. This film starts quite hectic, doesn't it?
It does.
There's her running around. Laney is the younger sister.
Yes.
Considerably younger. A few years younger, I think.
I mean,
They go to the same
Deirdre's
school.
in her last. No, there must only be a year between them
Yeah, they must be.
because of what happens at the end.
She just seems younger. She
In
acts
the
a lot
post-credit
younger.
scene.
Yeah, true. She acts a lot younger,
Yeah,
doesn't she?
she's not as mature.
No, she acts a lot younger. And at the point in this where Deirdre's got a lot going on, Laney calls her a bitch, and they start fighting.
Yeah, because she says to Laney, "Come on, you need to pull your weight. Mum's at work.
Yeah,
I can't look after you."
because they've got a younger brother
They've got
as
a
well.
younger brother as well, and Laney's just they're slobbing around watching TV.
Yeah. So while they're fighting, the younger brother comes out. He's called Jet.
Yeah,
Cool little kid. He's got dreadlocks. Quite 13, 12?
no, he's
Little
not
bit younger?
old. I'd
11?
have him sort of
10, 11?
8, 9, 10. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's got dreadlocks. He's a cool little kid. And he notices that his toys are about to get run over by a train.
Yeah.
So he darts out to the train tracks, which obviously...
They're literally in their back garden.
Yeah,
The train line is at the back of their. I don't even know if there's a fence, to be honest.
There's a tiny little fence, isn't there? But he was about to get onto the tracks to rescue his
Yes.
toys. So the girls run out, rescue him, stop him getting onto the train tracks. And then
A lot of his toys get smooshed.
Yeah, all his toys get smooshed. And he hasn't got a lot of stuff. They're not a rich family, these people.
This is soundtracked to a song which I haven't heard for many years.
Oh, yeah.
It's the United States of Whatever by Liam
It
Lynch.
was, yeah, it was. Great tune. Then we cut to who we later find out is their mum.
Yes.
And she's going a little bit crazy.
She's having a
She's having some sort
breakdown.
of mental break.
outside work.
Yeah, so she works at a shop called Goodbye,
Yeah.
which is a fantastic name for a shop, and I can't believe nobody's ever done it before. It's buy as in B-U-Y,
Yeah.
but also it's a pun on goodbye. I liked it. And she starts standing outside the front of this shop with one of the uniforms on, so we clearly know she works there. She's holding a flat screen TV above her head.
She is wielding it quite aggressively.
Menacingly. Yeah, there's a load of people watching her, filming her on phones, obviously, because that's what people do these days. There's 2 cops there trying to calm her down.
So I can't take any more. This is it. This is the end.
I'm done.
The end of my tether.
Yeah, I'm having some sort of mental break. Then she smashes this TV.
Yes. Then
Throws
she
it on the
fights the
floor.
cops.
Fights the cops a little bit. The 2 girls and Jet turn up. They're trying to fight the cops as well. It's all a bit chaotic. But it ends with their mum getting arrested.
Yeah,
So she gets arrested by the cop and gets taken away. Then we cut to 2 weeks later.
indeed.
So the film cuts forward already. So that's kind of like your prologue, isn't it? That's set up for this film.
Yeah, these are the people we're dealing with. This is their situation.
Yeah.
Let's crack on.
And we're visiting mum in prison.
Did you notice where we were?
No.
Shelbyville County Jail.
Shelbyville.
Yeah.
Is that where we are?
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's, well, at least that's the county, if not the town. So I didn't see a lemon tree anywhere. But
Wow. That's the next door town to Springfield in The Simpsons,
is,
isn't it?
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, the mum's still in prison. They reveal that the bail's been set.
She likes it in prison, though.
She does,
I
she
quite
loves it.
like this scene.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. She's
I've
like,
written
I
that.
get a salad with every meal.
Yeah. She's like, I've had my nails done.
Yeah,
I've had
my
my hair
hair
done. I'm really happy. The bail's been set too high, so she can't get out anyway. But she says, I've never been so relaxed. I choose between laundry or kitchen.
Yeah.
I don't have to do both for 4 people. I can choose. So we cut back to the school. They've gone back to school. Everybody's laughing at them, especially at Laney. Laney seems to be like a bit of a...
Yeah, she's having a hard time.
She's having a hard time. She's being bullied a little bit. She gets knocked over at one point.
Yes.
And she's wearing her clothes match up with the floor,
Yeah.
which I thought was quite funny. She's got like a pink jumper and a grey trousers on, and where she lands is exactly where the floor is. And then Deirdre gets called into the office.
We already knew she was a smart kid, but she's in this guidance counsellor.
Yeah, I thought she was the principal, but
Yeah,
I don't
did
think she
at
was.
first, but no, I think she says later on that she's a counsellor.
Yeah.
It quickly comes out that Deirdre is about to be named valedictorian.
Yes. So she's really clever, but she is messing it up. She's not achieving what she should be.
She's the only
achieving.
person in the school
Yeah.
that might be going to college.
Yeah, that's got a chance of going to.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It's got a chance of going to college. And this counsellor's like, I need to just make sure I get one person there. If nothing else, you need to get your act together because she's talking about leaving, isn't she? She's like, I'm getting a transfer to a new school.
The counsellor, yes. Yeah.
A better school, and I just need to get one person into college to get a chance of that.
And Deirdre's in the office because she's missed I think it's 10 days in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah,
at school.
something like that. Which is a lot. She only goes for 15 out of the prison. Yeah. So she's trying to hold this family together with no money.
And she goes on a bit of a rant at the counsellor. This was quite a funny line as well. She says, you know, the did you know you can get a salad every day in prison?
Yeah.
We can't get that at school.
Yeah, we don't even
school
get that
food
at school.
here is worse than prison.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's probably true as well.
Yeah.
Then we go back to Laney, and Laney's in a class. Laney's in a class learning how to be a beauty queen.
Yeah, I think
It was like a beauty pageant training class.
I presume, that every school in the area, in the county, like, was able to put forward a few people to this. What was it? Teen Miss Idaho.
Teen Miss Idaho. Her teacher's played incidentally by Missy Pyle.
Yeah.
Who's really good in everything she does. She plays this sort of character a lot, doesn't she? Like the older beauty queen, but she's really good. I really enjoyed her in this. And Laney's a little bit out of place in this class, and she knows it. She's only gone to help her friend out, who's also there. She just like to keep her company, I guess.
I'm trying to think back. I think she's the only person of colour in the class.
Correct, she was. And she's gone. Her best friend's called Claire, and she's in the running for this beauty contest.
Sure.
So she's gone to just like keep her company while she's there. But then she accidentally gets picked.
Or voted for.
I don't know how he got picked. There was about 10 people in this class, and 3 of them got picked to attend this. 4 of them got picked to attend this competition, and Laney's one of them. And for some reason, Laney's friend, who also did get picked, turns on her.
Yes, she does.
And is a bitch for the rest of this film. Yeah, she's horrible. Then we go home we get a bit of the bills are piling up. The money's not coming in.
Did you notice? I thought this was a nice touch. There's a scene where Deirdre goes and she takes all the bills out of the mailboxes.
Yeah.
And on the side of the mailboxes was written like overdue, notice passed. I thought it was really neat.
Yeah, it was. It was like
when we were moaning 2 weeks ago about wounds, about having to read over the guy's shoulder when we were doing all the mobile phone texting.
Yeah.
And I said, there's loads of creative ways you can tell me what a character's reading or looking at.
Yeah.
Little did I know something like this would come up, because I thought it was great.
Yeah,
I really appreciated it.
Yeah, agreed. I thought they were printed on there for real to start with, and I'm like, oh no, that's showing me what the letters are all about. So we know that these letters that she's holding are now all overdue bills, and
I appreciate little touches.
I do. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was good. And then the social services turn up.
Yes.
This is a lady who's come to check up on them.
Yeah, child protection.
Child Protection Services, CPS lady. And Deirdre is old enough to be looking after the 2 younger kids.
Yes, she's technically not a minor.
Adult, yeah. So the lady's okay with that because there's no other guardian there. But she's obviously, she warns her. She's like, you need to make sure there's always food in this house. And there was another thing. I can't remember what it was. There was 2 things. You always need to make sure there's food or something like that.
Yeah.
And Deirdre does some maths. After this lady's gone, she does some maths, and she works out that she needs 11 grand to keep the roof over their head, to pay all the bills.
To pay all the bills and to pay the bail.
Yes, to get their mum out of prison and basically give them a footing to restart their lives again. So she goes to visit her ex-boyfriend.
Yes.
She wants to start selling weed because she knows he sells weed. But he says, I don't do that anymore. I don't sell weed anymore. You shouldn't be getting into that either. So they have a bit of a row, and she calls him useless, and they leave. And then she goes to visit her dad. Now, they don't seem to have much of a relationship with their dad. They don't even call him dad.
No. Call him Chet. So
So
you've
you've
got and Jet.
Jet and Jet, which is really confusing. And he says, "Look, I'll give you some money," and he gives her $13.
Yeah.
Which is a long way from 11 grand.
He thinks he's doing her a massive favour by giving her
He's a bit of a
$13.
dropout. He's a bit of a nobody.
He's like a security guard at the
train.
At the station yard, yeah.
She asks him to sell his truck. And he's like, truck's not worth anything anyway, and I need my truck. So she's like, yeah, that's a fair point. And then he talks about how he's been on TV. And he's got this video on his phone of this news report.
He's really proud of it.
He's really proud of it. So there's a news report going on at the train yard about some robberies that have been taking place.
Yes.
And he's just in the background fixing a train.
Yeah.
Because he's a train mechanic, I think. And he's really happy about it. He's got this video on his phone and he's showing it all off. That gives Deirdra like a brainwave. You always see the light bulb go on above her head.
Yeah, because he's like, yeah, this train got took for $3 million, but no one's bothered because it's all covered on insurance.
Yeah, it's all insured. There's no way of tracking where it happened or anything like that. So as she's walking home, she walks past the train because the trains are always going as well. There's always a train going by in this film. And she sees herself standing on the back of it, all dressed in black.
Yeah.
And that's another one of these visions
Ninja
of
style,
giving us an idea of where this film's heading.
Sure.
Which I thought, again, was a really nice touch. Laney goes to visit her mum whilst Deirdre's with her dad. Laney's with the mum in prison. And she's telling her about the pageant and how she's been selected for this pageant. And she's actually quite proud of herself for getting selected because she says nothing good ever happens to her. And her mum says, I was Teen Miss Idaho when I was a kid.
Yeah, she says, I won it.
I won it. I was this person.
And she says, I'd applied for some reality show. It was a huge reality TV show shown all over the country.
Yeah.
But then I had to drop out.
Yeah. Because I got pregnant with Deirdra.
Yeah.
And that ruined my life.
Yeah.
That's what she says. Laney takes that to heart a little bit and takes it home with her. She makes some popcorn for Jet for his dinner. That's all he gets for his dinner.
Well, she half makes it because the power goes out.
Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah. So he gets some half popped corn for dinner. So we know now that the money's all gone. The food's all gone.
Yeah.
These guys are in a sticky situation. So Deirdra comes home and she says to Laney, I'm going to rob a train.
Sure.
Pretty much just says that. And Laney's like, you're ridiculous. What are you talking about? You can't rob a train. We don't know anything about trains.
She talks around quite quickly.
She does. And Deirdra just keeps going. And Laney's like, okay, let's try it. Because the trains literally go 3 miles an hour.
Because Deirdre's jumped onto one, basically.
Yeah.
And just thought, oh, could I get onto one unnoticed?
Yeah.
She loses a garden hoe, doesn't she?
Yeah, she tries to break the lock off
because she can't get into the shipping container. But she's kind of satisfied that if she had the right tools,
she could get on a train.
They could do it.
The trains don't go fast. They're like 3 miles an hour. They go past the bottom of their garden.
Yeah.
It's a perfect opportunity. Laney agrees. And then we get a montage.
Planning montage.
That's exactly what I've written. Planning montage. And we come out of this montage on the night that this is going to happen.
So they do a couple of things, don't they? They put a teddy bear a certain way along the line. And that's their marker of you've got 2 minutes to get off
before it hits the station.
Yeah.
And they know where to chuck the boxes off the train because that's the bottom of their garden. So it's quite a good plan. It works quite nicely. And that night they go for it. So they get on the back of this train because they know what all the different carts do. So it's like grain carts and oil.
So yeah, they're
only after the shipping.
They're aiming shipping containers. They obviously have no idea what's in them at any one time.
But that's what they go for. So they go to this. They get on this train at the back of the shipping container. They break off they've got some like lock bolt cutters.
Yes.
But it takes both of them to do it. One has to take an arm each to break this lock. But they do break it up, and they nearly get spotted by a cop.
Yeah, because he just happens to be waiting at the level crossing.
Yeah, so they go past the level crossing, and he notices. I think he sees their torch or something.
Yeah, he sees the flashlight,
and he gets onto the train as well.
Deirdre pushes Laney off.
Yeah.
Into the
darkness, because it's dark, so she doesn't get spotted. So Laney hides behind a tree stump or something, and the cop locks Deirdre into the shipping container.
Yeah,
so she gets locked inside.
Another terrible movie cop who gets onto the train.
Yeah,
sees that this lock's been cut, presumably.
Yeah, he does.
Shines his torch into the back of the shipping container, and then just goes.
I presume he thinks, "Oh, they've gone. I've scared them off," and then he just locks the container back up again. So Laney chases the train. But they actually chase it all the way to the shipping yard, the train yard. We have a lot of films set in train yards on this show, don't we? It's been a few.
Train yard's been used quite a lot.
It has. I can think of 4 off the top of my head.
As a setting, it's been used quite a lot.
It has, because there was one in that shit horror film last season. In the house with a
Dark Light.
There was one in that. Acts of Vengeance had one.
Yes. I Kill Giants.
Had one.
Largely set around a shipping yard, a train yard.
There's been a few.
Yeah,
we've had a few. So Laney gets her out. She basically unlocks this shipping container, and they escape.
Just as the station yard staff start
to unload it,
arrive, I guess.
But unfortunately, they had one of Jet's toys, or Laney had one of Jet's toys in her bag because they'd found it somewhere, and she drops that. That will become important later on.
And they managed to make it back to the box that they threw off. They only managed to get one off at this point, but first time. And their bounty is a load of towels, 3 microwaves, and some jeans.
It's not bad for a first go.
For a random box in a random container, it's not.
It's a random 3 things to have in one box.
Yeah.
So she takes it back to her ex. We go back and meet him again, and she basically sells it all of it to him.
Yeah, it's like, you can make some money off this, surely.
Yeah. So
she doesn't know any crime bosses.
No, of course she doesn't. There's nobody in this town.
No.
It's just a small town full of nobodies. So she sells him everything. He gets some money. Laney goes back to her pageant teacher and tells her that she's done. She wants out because Claire, who is her friend, is being horrible to her. But she convinces her to stay. She has
like one-on-one etiquette lessons.
Yeah, she does. They're like pinky up and all that sort of. Then we get another montage.
Train robbing
montage. So they do this a number of times over a number of nights.
Yes.
And we get a montage of money coming in, money going out, bills being paid, money being stacked up. They've realised that they can use an app on their phone to scan the barcodes on the boxes. Yeah. So they can find out what's inside them before they rob them.
Yeah, so their little operation it's working.
It's going quite well.
So it turns out the montage ends and it turns into them, like you say, scanning these boxes. So they say yes to sleeping bags. They say no to a load of rubber gloves or something like that. And then get into a conversation, don't they, Deirdra and Laney? And they start to bond a bit.
Yeah.
And Laney asks Deirdra to come to the
pageant. But Deirdra says no.
And then they sort of bond a bit by slagging off their mother.
Yeah, basically.
Because Deirdre's really angry because Laney says, oh yeah, Mum said that she'd have been successful if it wasn't for having us.
Yeah, and Deirdra kicks off about that. Then we meet the cop for the first time.
Yeah, so the rail line has sent its own agent to investigate these strange
This is a character.
Occurrences.
I enjoyed this guy. He was fun. So he's taking a wander down the train tracks just to see if he can spot any evidence or anything.
Yeah.
And he finds the teddy bear.
Yes.
So he takes the teddy bear, and that's the teddy bear, remember, was used as their sign to get off the train.
Yeah.
So if that's not there anymore, they don't know when to get off the train.
He also finds one of these toys.
Yes. He finds Jet's toy.
This is Agent Truman.
Yes. Is that his name?
Yeah. And it's played by Tim Blake Nelson.
Yeah.
It feels like this role was written for him. Because I've seen him play this role.
Many times.
Several times in movies.
Yeah, it's like a bumbling idiot cop.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Rent a cop,
yeah. He's got a bum bag on and he thinks he's like a much higher station than he actually
is.
There is a town cop as well in this.
He's really nice.
He's really
friendly.
Nice. So, yeah. They're at the school, so this Agent Truman is at the school with this guidance counsellor and the other cop, and he's got some security footage of this train yard where they can see some teenage-sized humans.
And I don't know why he's talking to the guidance counsellor and not the head teacher. So it now occurs to me the head teacher's never in this.
Yeah, we haven't cast a principal. So why she couldn't just be the principal?
Exactly.
I don't know.
I've called her the principal most of the way through.
I have as well,
this.
And it turns out she wasn't.
And she says to the cop and to Agent Truman, yeah, I mean, it certainly looks like they're teenagers.
Yeah, they're definitely
in which case, they're going to be at my school.
Yeah.
Because we're the only place
school
around here.
We cut back from there to Deirdra. Deirdre's now hiding some of the money.
So they've got a totalizer, haven't they?
Yeah.
So they've said we're going to keep going until we get our 11 grand that we need to pay our bills, get Mum out of jail. The totalizer is up to like 6 grand.
Yeah.
She then rolls it back a grand.
Yeah.
Because she puts
some away.
1,000 away, sort of under a desk drawer.
She sneaks it away, hides it away from Laney.
And she says, well, this is a college fund, I guess, isn't it?
It gets found later.
Yeah.
The one thing this film isn't very good at is explaining where this money's coming from. Because they're robbing goods from this train and they're not selling it all to this guy.
I think that is the implication, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're getting a % of the profits.
Yeah. So he's taking everything from them.
Yeah.
And selling all of it and then making money. It seems a stretch that he's going to make that much money from this small town, because nobody leaves this town at any point.
And I would assume he would be the easier person to bust this thing wide open with.
Yeah.
Rather than looking for the actual train robbers. If you suddenly got,
Yeah. That's what I mean.
These fast food guys selling tons of jeans and microwaves.
Yeah. Where's this coming from?
On the side of the road or on the... Well, does he mention eBay later on or something?
Yeah, he does mention eBay later on, but... Because he says his grandma taught him how to use eBay, which I thought was quite a funny line. It just seemed a bit of a stretch that they were making this much money from selling to one guy, but I suppose you can forgive it. That night when they go in, Laney, just as they're about to break into one of these shipping containers, spots some cameras.
She says
up on the side of the
She
tracks.
says to Deirdra, I've not seen Mr. Bear.
Yeah.
I feel like we should have seen
him by now. And then she spots some cameras, which haven't been there before.
Yes.
So she pushes Deirdra off the train and they kind of run away, don't they? And they kind of abandon that night's rob. The next day... Oh, hit my mic, apologies. The next day, the guidance counsellor turns up at their house.
Yes.
And eventually gets let into the house.
Yeah. And
there's boxes of shit everywhere.
Yeah, there's boxes strewn all over the living room with goods everywhere.
Yeah, this woman, remember, knows that some of the teenagers in her school have been robbing a train. It doesn't take a lot for her to realise what
she works
has gone
it out
on.
pretty
She works it out pretty quickly. Deirdra admits, look, it's all my fault. Laney has nothing to do with this. She's trying to take the blame for it.
She talks around, though.
She does talk around, and she actually gets her to help in the end, because this guidance counsellor is very keen on Deirdra going to college.
Yeah.
And she's like, I've got enough money now to go to any college you want me to go to.
Yeah.
I will do that for you. But you need to help us out.
Yeah, just stay quiet.
Just shut up while we make some more money. Then we get the dress rehearsal for the pageant. So the 4 girls are there being talked to by Missy Pyle. Claire trips Laney over on the stage. Embarrasses
She's
her
nasty.
Yeah, she's horrible. In front of everyone, everybody laughs at her. Come back to the dad. This is Chet, who we met earlier. He's now at work and he spots the bear.
Mr. Bear is chained to a chair.
Yeah, he's in the office where he works. So he knows now that something's not right. Why is there... Because he knows that bear. He recognises that bear. He knows something's not right. Truman then goes to the school. He does a talk at the school about the dangers of being on the train tracks.
Sure.
He's obviously trying to stake it all out. Laney and Deirdra come home from school that day and they see the CPS lady's cars in the drive.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't a good sign. She wasn't supposed to turn up yet. And Jet's there on his own. As far as they know, Jet's there on his own. So they run in and the house has been immaculately cleaned.
Yeah.
It's like
there's
no goods anywhere. There's no boxes anywhere. And Jet is in the kitchen with the CPS lady and the dad.
Uncle Dennis,
who is just Chet under an assumed name. And he is flirting like crazy with this CPS lady.
Oh, she is hot for him.
She really is. She is all over him. So he kind of gets her on side a little bit.
Yeah.
He says, look, I'm staying with them for a few days. I'll look after them. Don't worry about it. She leaves. When she's gone, he reveals that he knows now as well that they've been robbing these trains.
Yeah.
But he also knows a bit more information because he knows that they know where the crates are being broken into. Because their theory was these trains travel the whole length of America and they don't know at any stage where they're being broken into. They could at any point in the country. Yeah. Chet reveals that they do know because at every checkpoint they have like a sticker on them.
Yeah.
So if the sticker's not intact, then they know that between the last 2 checkpoints, that's when the train's been robbed.
Correct. It's a barcode, and if the doors are opened, the barcode's ripped, so they know
you can't scan it
when it had happened.
Yeah.
And this is news to the Deirdra and Laney.
So he offers to help them out, which Deirdre's not on board with. Deirdra doesn't like this guy at all. She doesn't trust him.
No, they've no relationship.
They've no relationship with him. But he does eventually get involved. He goes to a meeting with the ex-boyfriend. I didn't catch this guy's name.
No, I didn't either, actually.
And he negotiates them a bigger cut.
He negotiates a 60-40 cut in their favour.
Yeah.
And he guarantees
name brand cosmetics and electronics.
Yeah.
Because he knows he's got the manifest, so he can get hold of the manifest.
So he knows what's in
each cart.
Which cart.
So from now on, they'll only get the good stuff. Deirdre's not happy about this, but she gets on board with it because she knows it's a quicker way to make money. And she says, look, once we've broken the stickers, I can print new ones at school.
Yeah.
And we'll re-sticker them, so then they won't know when we've broken in. So they conjure up a plan between them, don't they? That night when they go robbing, they get what I've written is a shit ton of phones. One of the boxes is full of like, they look like iPhones.
Yeah.
There was loads of TVs they got as well. So the plan works.
He marks the cars, doesn't he?
He marks them with an X.
Yeah.
They're like a
So
ultraviolet.
the girls know which one to go for.
Yeah, so the girls know which one to get into. Then we go back to visit the mum in prison, who's still in prison for smashing a TV, which I feel like she's been in prison for a long time.
She did attack the cops as well.
True, but would she have been in for this long? It just seemed a long time. Chet goes to visit her.
Yeah.
And he says, look, I'm building this relationship with the girls while you're not here.
Yeah.
He's kind of rubbing it in her face a little bit, which he's not happy about. But they end up making out.
Yeah. They can't resist each other.
They can't.
Even
No, they can't keep their hands off each other. And
no touching.
Yeah, the guards are not happy about this, obviously. So guards split them up. Truman then reveals that he wants to start interviewing students at the school.
Yeah. How much, just before we go on as well, how much was their dad, Chet, just basically rolling shit?
Yeah, he was. 100%.
In both his looks and his character.
Yeah, he really was. I followed that guy from the Little Shits thing on Instagram. Yeah. It's brilliant.
Yeah, he's really good.
Check it out, honestly. Just going off on a tangent completely. Then Chet reveals to Deirdra that the Federal Mint has a car.
And it's coming in.
And it's coming soon.
Next week or in a few days.
They don't know exactly when, but they know it's coming soon.
Well, no, they do know. Because unbelievably, similar to last week's movie, it's the same night as the pageant.
Yes. So Laney's like, well, we can't do it because I'm doing this pageant.
Yeah.
And Deirdre's like, you don't care about this pageant. He thinks that they can get a load of cash from this Federal Mint car. But then Laney's not happy with this. Laney thinks
Deirdre's a bit on the fence there, but Laney's like, no, that is proper crime.
Yeah, that's proper robbing. Not what we're doing now is just pretend robbing. This is proper like money laundering. And she throws something at Deirdre's desk in her room. I can't remember what it was. She threw something. And that broke the drawer and revealed Deirdre's secret stash of cash.
Indeed. Which
she's been saving up for her college fund. So Laney is fuming. She's not happy that Deirdre's been robbing off her, basically, robbing off the funds. Then we get a montage of Truman interviewing all the students at the school, including
This was
Laney.
a good montage.
It was a good montage, to be fair. He's a really good character in this.
It was funny.
It was funny, because he interviews everybody. He interviews Laney. He interviews quite a few people at school.
There's a great shot of him being sort of bored by the mean girls, sort of talking about
how one of them's got a new phone.
Yeah.
Where's that come from?
It's a bit suspicious. And then he sits down and interviews Deirdra.
Yeah.
And then he looks at her file and is like, "Oh, you're going to be the valedictorian."
Yeah.
And he turns to the cops like, well, "Why are we talking to this boy?
Yeah, it's not going to be her, is it? She's a valedictorian." And he gets quite angry. The other cop's like, "It was your list."
Yeah.
so he doesn't want to interview Deirdra because she's a valedictorian. He doesn't think she'd do that sort of thing, which worked out quite well.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Because clearly she is the one. Laney finds Claire's pageant dress, gives it a bit of a rip.
Yeah, she's going to fight fire with fire now. Yeah.
And then as the cop is leaving, as Truman is leaving, he is taking pictures of kids, which is a little bit disturbing.
It really is. But he's got a Polaroid and he stands next to this couple that are just necking in the car park.
And just takes a picture, really up close picture of them.
And he's like, it's for my investigation. And they're just like, oh, whatever.
Fair enough.
Then
he sees Jet sitting on a car.
Yeah, he's waiting for his sisters.
Yeah, and he's got his toys with him.
Yeah,
obviously Truman found one of these toys not long ago.
He's playing with a figure, and it's the same. It's a wrestler. It's the wrestler. Figure, it's the same one that he found this cardboard cut out of.
Yeah. So he takes a picture of Jet.
Just as Deirdra runs around the corner.
And Jet screams for Deirdra because there's a strange man taking his picture, and Deirdra comes running up, and he kind of just fizzles out, but it was a bit dodgy.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's just for my investigation. Which triggers Deirdra thinks, well, he might be onto us a little bit. I need to find out who this guy is. So she does a bit of research on him. And she finds out that he's a bit of a loose cannon. In his last case, he pulled a firearm on somebody.
Yeah, so he was... what's the word? He was indicted, wasn't he? For sort of put under investigation because he's, like you say, he's too aggressive. He's a loose cannon.
A bit of a loose cannon. That night, Laney goes robbing alone. She gets onto a train without Deirdra. And she gets some sweet new shoes.
Yeah, so they're Louis Vuittons.
Oh, are they?
That's what the red sole means.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You not know your shoes?
I don't know my lady's shoes. I'm sorry.
And again, this was then not a plot point because I thought it was going to be, because she then walks around school with him the next day.
Yeah.
And I thought we were going to go down a whole sort of, they're getting too big for their shoes. It's like how did she afforded that pair of shoes suddenly? But that never happened.
That never happened. We never saw him again. Later on that day, Laney and the dad are burning the boxes in the rail yard. This is the scene where we meet Deirdra and the ex are having a chat.
This was a nice little chat.
Because,
if anything, he was very underserved.
yeah.
Because I really like this little conversation. Because she ends up apologising to him.
Yeah.
Because she thought he was like a
Big time gangster.
She says, you're a load of gangsters selling all this stuff. And he was like, no,
I work at McDonald's and
honestly,
my grandma taught me how to use eBay.
Yeah. I don't sell weed anymore.
Yeah.
I'm only doing this because you came up with all that stuff.
Yeah. So he's really...
It's like, you're the gangster.
Yeah, you're the robber here. When he said my grandma taught me how to use eBay, I was like, that's really cool. I like that. And like you say, she apologises to him for dragging him into it. They realise at this point that they've now got enough money to bail their mum out.
Yes.
So Deirdre's counting the money up and she says to Chet, look, I'm going to go and get mum. You better be gone when we get back.
She said she's now come around the other way and she says, we're not doing the mint car.
Yeah.
It's too risky.
It's too risky. I'm done. You need to get out. I don't want you in my life anymore. By the time I get back, you better be gone. So she goes to get her mum out. And they have a bit of a heart to heart. The mum says, I don't think you kids didn't ruin my life. I've ruined yours. Yeah. Which I thought was another nice little line. She talks about this savings account.
This was the best bit of the movie.
It really was.
So this, do we call it a montage?
Yeah.
Flashback?
It was an ungrateful kids montage I've written.
It's flipped. So we see it from the mum's point of view.
Yeah.
It was really well done. And I found it quite moving, actually.
Yeah, agreed. So she'd saved up when she was Little Miss Idaho, she won some money for that.
She did.
So she saved that into a savings account, which she's then added to every week with spare change that she's got. Yeah. Built up quite a lot of money over the years.
So it'd gone up to she got over 20 grand.
Over 20 grand in this account. Then she had a car accident.
Yeah, so the montage is she's working all hours. There's then loads of flashes of bringing presents and food home, and Deirdra just sort of shrugging her off or walking out the
kids
door
just all being ungrateful and not recognising what she's doing for them.
And she's getting more tireder and tireder, isn't she?
Yeah, to the point where she falls asleep at the wheel of the car and crashes her car. That triggered a series of unfortunate events that caused her to lose all this money.
Hospital bills, insurance.
All of that. And that's why she had the psychotic break at work, because that's when she realised that she'd lost everything. All this savings that she'd been doing for the last 20 years or whatever had all gone. And that's why she had this break at work. That's why she smashed up this telly, and that's why she's now in prison. Basically, her life just spiraled out of control really quickly. Meanwhile, while this is all going on, Truman has figured it out. He now knows what's going on. The principal, she's not the principal, the guidance counsellor, calls Deirdra and says he is heading over to
cops worked it out as well.
Yeah.
The friendly cop.
Yeah. And she's like, so everybody knows now. And she's like, Truman's heading over to this pageant, which is just happening right now. And he's going to go and arrest Laney. So we head to the pageant. Chet and Jet are already there. Chet kind of gives up at this point. He's like, I'm done. He says to Jet...
I thought he was going to go and do the mint car on his own. Yeah. That's why I thought he was leaving.
But he wasn't, was he?
No.
He was just going...
He just went and sat in his
just abandoning his kids again.
Yeah.
So he leaves Jet there in the crowd on his own. Chet does a runner. Truman shows up. Truman shows up. Truman shows a great film. He heads backstage. Missy Pyle kind of confronts him, but doesn't really get anywhere. Laney, meanwhile, is on stage. They've all been practicing these. This was
absolute baller move. This is
absolute baller move. So they've all been practicing these. They know the questions they're going to get. So obviously they know the answers that they're going to give. So and the question was, "Who's your biggest inspiration?" or something along those lines. And Laney steals Claire's answer.
Yeah, because she goes first.
Because Laney goes first before Claire, and Claire was not happy.
No,
Claire loses her shit. She actually attacks Laney on the stage.
Yeah, they have a good old fisticuffs.
They do. They have a good old fight on the stage, which is broken up by Truman because he comes and arrests Laney.
He does.
He gets her in handcuffs and arrests her, whilst Deirdre's there watching from the audience. Yeah. And then Deirdre runs away. She calls her dad. She says, meet me at the train yard.
Yeah, I've got
a plan. So she's then on a train. This moves quite quickly at this point. And she's on a train and she's starting to set fires on this train. It was a bit strange.
Fires to some boxes and throws them off.
Yeah.
And then just starts burning boxes of goods.
Meanwhile, Laney's got away from Truman and is with the other cop.
The nice local cop and the guidance counselor have bust her out of the back of Truman's car.
Yeah. So and she's in the back of the cop car with the nice cop. And they stop at this crossing, level crossing again. And Laney gets out of the car, gets on the train and confronts Deirdra. She says, look, we need to stick together. And she's like, you can't give... Because she thinks Deirdre's about to give herself up.
I thought this was a bit messy.
It was a little bit. I didn't really understand what was going on.
I didn't really know what Deirdre's plan was.
No. So she was trying to get Truman to chase her.
Yeah.
So that she could video him losing control, being a loose cannon. And it kind of worked.
But she was committing more crimes.
But while she was doing it. Yeah. So Laney says to Deidra, you can't give yourself up. Deidra's like, I'm not going to give myself up. This is my plan to set up Truman. Laney then hides in this train cart.
She's like, we're going to get, if we're going down together. She's like, I did all this with you.
Yeah. So she hides in this car, videoing this confrontation because Truman gets aboard. And he does say some questionable things. He's like, I can't remember what he said, but it was the things they were filming him saying were not good.
Yeah, he's like, you're my proof. I've set this up so I can catch you,
that sort of thing. Yeah. So, and that's all on film now. So then,
and he is quite aggressive.
Yeah, he's horrible. He's not a nice guy. So then they get into a chase.
Yeah.
So Deirdra runs away from him along. So they do the train chase, don't they? They end up on the roof running, chasing each other, and she manages to get away, but then he catches her, and they have a bit of a scuffle. This train's parked at this point, and they have a bit of a scuffle, and she ends up actually handcuffing him to the train. She manages to get his handcuffs and handcuffs him to the train. Then the other cop shows up, the nice cop with Jet, and Truman manages to get hold of Jet.
Yeah, he grabs the kid.
He grabs the kid,
young lad,
but Chet punches him, knocks him out.
Yeah, he's like, but he does. He threatens the boy.
Yeah, he does. He threatens the kid. He's incriminating himself. Laney's filming this whole thing. Chet knocks him out, and they've got it all on film. So his boss turns up, who's a lady in charge of the train line, I guess.
Sure.
She turns up. She arrests him, and they all go home.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's next day, isn't it? Just as they turn up back at home after a long night, I suppose. Yeah. The
CPS lady's there.
The Child Protection Services lady shows up.
Yeah. And she is going to take the kids away. She's
found out that
Chet is not who he says he is. We kind of missed that scene out. There was a scene where she was with Chet and Jet, and Chet runs. They do a runner from her, and she's like, I thought he was the one.
Yeah.
I don't know where. I've missed that out. I don't know where that was. But so she's come to take the kids away. Just as she's about to take the kids away, a taxi pulls up, and their mum's in it. So she's like, I'm the mum. You can't take my kids away.
Yep.
We're all happy families. So Gloria goes away. Then the film cuts to 3 months later. Deidra's off to college. So they're all like doing their big goodbye scene outside.
Give her a toy train.
Jet gives her a toy train, which I thought was quite cool. Chet isn't there. He misses it.
Yeah.
And then as Deirdra is driving away, she waits at the level crossing for a train to go past, and she sees herself standing on a train again, all dressed in white.
Yeah.
And then the film ends, for now.
There's then a lovely credit scene.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Lots of trains
doing
really nice.
Train
stuff. It's like train sex, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they're like uncoupling and...
Yeah. It's a cool train montage.
Yeah.
And then we get a post-credit scene, and we're back at school. So
it's the start of the new school
year.
The
start of the new school year.
But it's and the guidance counsellor, and this is why there must only be a year between Laney and Deirdra, because she's saying, right, this is your last year again.
Yeah.
Your chance to impress before we go off to college.
Yeah. And she basically gives this rousing speech
it's
about...
It's a funny pep talk,
It's a funny pep talk about how she's decided not to leave the school because we thought she was leaving.
She's like, I got someone into college last year.
Yeah, I've got someone into college. I'm going to... And she does the... what's that woman's name?
There's a lot
you're going to college, you're going to college, you're going to college. Oprah Winfrey. Where you get a car, you get a car. She does that. And she basically does this rousing speech about, they're all going to college and she's going to save the school. And then the film ends.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I did as well. It's actually all right, isn't it?
It's funny, it's sweet. I was unexpectedly moved by that was the standout scene for me, the sort of montage / reveal that Mum had been saving all this cash all this time.
Yeah.
And that had all gone away. I thought, like I say, it was quite innovative. We mentioned the stuff on the mailboxes, but also we saw some nice animations when Deirdra was typing on a phone or writing emails. I like the performances. I thought it was nicely put together. I did think that it dragged somewhat in the middle. Yeah,
there was. Yeah, it did take a little
where it lost some of its momentum.
It lost its way a little bit in the middle.
But I thought everyone was really likable.
Yeah,
and that went a long way with me.
It really built up a relationship with these people.
Yeah,
and you actually felt for them at the end
in a short time because it's only 90 minutes.
Yeah, I mean they did get away with it at the end, and
Yeah, I mean, these kids have robbed all this,
and everybody knows
$11,000 worth of goods.
Yeah, and everybody knows the cop helped them at the end.
Yeah,
it was a bit too sentimental at that point.
Yes,
but
it is questionable, definitely.
Do you forgive it that? I mean,
because it is a feel-good film.
It's a feel-good film, but
going for.
They are train robbers. And
small
they do
town, we have to help each other out because there's nothing here. It's a dump.
Yeah.
And it's quite interesting watching it a week on from Alaska.
I was just going to say that.
With a lot of similar themes.
It's a very similar small town, need to get out of this small town mentality. It's quite similar films, but obviously completely different stories. Yeah. But one is a lot better than the other at telling that story.
Sure. It's really likeable.
It is.
I would say.
It's a 90-minute bit of fun. You're going to enjoy it, I think. There's nothing bad about it. There's nothing like, oh, that's a shit film. People will get something out of it.
It's nicely shot.
Parts of it are beautiful.
I'm reading a book at the minute, and it's about a lady who's cycling through every state in America.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of small town stuff, like being helped out by strangers, and it did. So I just thought, oh, this is quite similar to the book I'm reading. It was just quite odd.
Weird coincidence.
It's sort of. We all got to stick together type thing, help each other out, and I enjoyed it.
What's the book called? Give it a plug. You don't know, do you? I tell by your eyes straight away.
Why do I have to know what I'm reading? I can't remember what it's called.
Okay, no worries. How would you turn the?
Bad?
How would it is if you're in the middle of reading it? Yeah. How would you turn the tide on it? I genuinely don't know.
It's called 50 Shades of the USA.
Oh, okay. I think I've heard of that. Have you mentioned that before?
But I can't remember.
I think I've heard of it. How would you... I don't know how I would turn the tide on it. I don't know what I'd do to make it better.
I feels like it's a bit of a cheat to say, put an extra 15 minutes of it and do more character stuff. Because I don't know if it needs more character stuff.
I felt like I got a good rapport with the characters. I felt like I got to know them. Because I think
then I'd be saying, oh, no... God, I didn't need that 10 minutes when she was arguing with her mum again.
Do we need a flashback on why Truman was in a loose cannon? Do we need to know more about him?
I suppose you could maybe have a bit more of
him.
Of Truman.
He was a highlight.
Yeah.
Find out what he did before, maybe.
Maybe a bit more on some of the supporting characters. Like, why was the cop so nice?
Yeah.
Did he have the hots for the
guidance
counselor? That wasn't something that came across at all.
No.
But maybe just...
What was his relationship with Deirdra and Laney? Could do a bit more on
some of those supporting characters, just to give a bit more depth.
Yeah.
To the town as a character, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I don't think I'd changed anything major.
No, mate. I thought it was really good. No problems with it whatsoever. Surprising, really, that it came out and that we've quite enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's unusual lately. Do you want to talk stream table?
Sure.
Do you want me to read through the whole thing, or do you want me to?
Why not?
We've not done the whole thing for a while.
Yeah.
So currently, this is with the 17th film going into the stream table. Amazingly, there's only 8 left. So at 16th at the minute is the Hungover Games. 15th is Temple. 14th is Wounds. Then comes Room 205. 12th is After. 11th is Alien Warfare. 10th is Alaska is a Drag. 9th, Happy Anniversary. 8, TikTok. 7, John Henry. 6, Paradise Hills. 5 goes to Bullethead. 4 is Urge. 3 is In the Shadow of the Moon. Number 2 currently is All My Friends Are Dead. And number 1 at the minute is The Disappearance at Clifton Hill. Where are we talking? I think it's top 5.
Yeah, I do as well.
Do you want to start from 5 and just work up, see where we get to?
Okay.
Bullethead is currently number 5.
It's better than that.
Okay. It is better than Bullethead. 4 is Urge.
Better than Urge.
It's better than Urge. Urge feels high.
It's not in the wrong place, though.
No, I don't think it is. It just 4 feels high for it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Because it's fine.
But it's the top 3 are better than it. A lot better than it.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of gaps in this stream table. In the Shadow of the Moon is at number 3.
I think this is better than that. I liked In the Shadow of the Moon, but I said before, I think I really liked the first 45 minutes of it, and then liked it a bit less the longer it went.
Do you know when I just said In the Shadow of the Moon, I couldn't remember what it was.
Oh, okay.
And I've seen it twice.
You just got like a blind spot.
I've just got a blind spot for that film. I think it's better than that as well. I think we're top 3. All My Friends Are Dead. They're not. It's the name of the film. All My Friends Are Dead. Fun little house party.
Yeah,
film.
really fun. I think this is a better movie.
The Deirdra and Laney Rob train. As a movie, as a story, it's a better story.
Yeah.
It's probably better made. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
We're high here.
Sure.
So we got to number 1, Disappearance at Clifton Hill.
They're both really pleasant surprises.
Yeah.
And I think it's tough. Oh, it's really tough.
It is tough. I think I'm leaning a little bit more towards Disappearance at Clifton Hill. That just felt like a more complete story from start to finish. It was a film. It was a proper film.
I think what I'm struggling with is I think I liked the bits I liked in this movie, Deirdra and Laney Rob the Train, I liked more than the bits, the best bits of A Disappearance at Clifton Hill.
Okay.
But what I really liked about that, I've said this before as well, I liked how ambiguous that movie was. And I can just make up my mind. Disappearance at Clifton Hill, you might think the ending means
something completely different to what I do.
Yeah. But I quite like that. I don't know. As a whole experience, I think it's really close.
It is really close.
I watched this last night, not expecting much of it. I've turned it off. I was like, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Same. It's a toss of a coin.
I think this goes to number 2, personally.
I think it's more of my sort of film than you.
Yeah, probably.
I'd probably be edging this. But it's really close.
It's close for me as well, but that is the difference between me and you, I guess. The other one is more of a me film, and this is more of a you film. But it is really close.
Yeah.
How do we resolve this?
I don't know.
Are you happy with it at number 2?
I don't know if I am.
Okay.
I don't. I think. I don't know if I'm being.
Think about it this way. Right?
I think I'm being a bit biased compared to previous seasons.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the Disappearance at Clifton Hill. I'm not saying it will still be there at the end of the season, although we've only got 6 left.
6 or 7 left.
But I think it's a weak table topper.
Do you not think this is a weak table topper as well?
I don't think it's just.
Would you be happy with this being at the top at the end of the end of the season?
I don't think either of them are up to our number ones from season.
Because we're saying we've got 7. What this is 17th, so we've got 8 more to go. Yeah, 18, 19. Yeah, 2 of those are going to be wild cards.
Yes.
So they're not going to get to number 1. If they do, then somebody's played a very bad wild card. Because the idea of the wild card is for them to be as bad as they can possibly be. So that only gives us 6 more that might beat this to the top. Are you happy with this being at the top at the end of the table?
It is what it is.
I will give it you. I will put it at number 1, but you owe me.
The thing is, I'm hesitant because I thought it was great, but to me,
it's so close.
I don't think either of them are
table toppers.
No, but one of them's got to be.
Yeah, one of them has got to be.
Let's put this at the top.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm happy to do that
with you a bit.
But you owe me a favour then.
Fine.
Cool. Do you want to pick next week's film?
Yeah,
We've
sure.
got a new number 1 again. It's happening a lot lately. What do you want next week? It's been a while since we've had a good horror film.
Yeah, honestly, you're giving me you're just making me watch terrible horror films.
I like terrible horror films. I'm not making you. This randomizer is. I have no control.
Let's have. Go on then. All right then. Let's.
I don't know that one.
We don't know.
We don't know.
We've not
pressed the button yet. All right. I'll challenge the randomizer to find us a good horror film.
Okay. I'm going to press the button. Are you ready?
Sure.
It has picked a film called Time Trap.
Cool.
Any ideas?
None whatsoever. I mean, I'm just guessing it's some time travel type thing.
Sounds like it. It's got time in the title. So
it sounds like quite a generic shit film title.
It does.
You can't imagine a good film being called Time Trap. But, well,
do you want to know
who knows?
Do you want to know the tagline?
Yeah, I would love to.
Never do taglines. I might start doing taglines. The tagline is Escape to the Future.
I'm in.
Look at the poster.
Sold me.
Poster's awesome.
Oh, wow.
That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you want to know the synopsis?
Yes, I would love to.
It says, a professor enters a cave and goes missing. Some of his students come looking for him and get trapped in the cave as well.
Have you just read that badly? Or is
no,
it
that's how it's written.
That's how okay, yeah, that sounds right up our stream.
It does sound right up our stream. Let's see if anybody's in it that we've heard of. If you like this, you might like Ark.
Oh, right, okay.
Apparently. And Tau. But also Project Almanac, and that's a great film. And In the Shadow of the Moon.
Oh, right. Well, we've got to do this one then.
We have. I'm just looking through the cast list, see if I recognise anybody. Don't think I do.
It's not leaving Netflix.
It doesn't say anywhere that it's leaving Netflix. Hopefully it isn't. let's hope it doesn't anytime soon. It doesn't say that it is, so hopefully it's not. So yeah, go and check out Time Trap. And in the meantime, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd at BOTS_podcast. The email address is bottomofthestream@gmail.com if you want to get in touch. And the website is bottomofthestream.com. On the website, you will find every episode we've ever recorded, all 5 season stream tables, and you can even get some merch if you want to. What else? You can check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/bottomofthestream. If you join us on there, you will get bonus episodes. You'll get early access to episodes. Nick writes a wild card every month. Nick writes a wild card? Nick writes a newsletter every month. And if you come in at the top level, you'll get a wild card, which means you can pick the film that we watch. And also, come and check us out on Discord. We have a lot of good chats in Discord. We have our own little group on there. Come and check us out on there. The link for that will be in the bottom of the show notes.
Yeah. If you can spare a few minutes, it would really help us if you can leave us a review on, well, anywhere that you can leave reviews for podcasts. That could be on Podbean, Podchaser, Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, anywhere else, because we're on all of those places. It really helps our little show be pushed up various lists and onto people's phones and in their ears. Maybe you could write a review on the side of a shipping container.
Good point.
For all to see as it's being travelling the railroads up and down the country.
I like it.
Why not?
Let's do that. I've forgotten something.
Oh, okay.
It's Ross Cook's birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ross. Ross has got a book coming out.
Oh, amazing.
How cool is that?
I
He's
know.
got a little children's book coming out. So we're going to try and get him on to talk about it. So
Definitely.
We'll get him on. We'll talk to him about his new book. And we'll hopefully get a copy. So I want to see it. I'm excited.
We will definitely do that. It'd be great to talk to Ross.
Will do. We haven't spoken to him for a while. So happy birthday, Ross. Have a good day. And we'll see him and you on Thursday to talk about Time Trap.
Cheers.
Bye.